Hi everyone. Excuse me. Um, I saw a video yesterday with a question on it, and the question was, what inspires you? I would like to ask all of you, what or whom inspires you and why? Now, I'm going to say, a few things, what inspires me. One thing is children that have illnesses such as cancer, that never complain, that smile and just accept the fact that that's what they have. The fight and just what I've seen in their faces, that inspires me to be better. Another thing that has inspired me in my life is my parents. And not only were they great parents, but when they were dying, they never stopped being parents. My mom could have been so sick, but if I was sick, she ignored it, her being sick. And good parents are really hard to find. I mean, like dedicated parents. And I believe that my parents were dedicated to us children that they had. My mom, I remember when I first started getting sick, and it was awful because she was so worried about me. She would stay awake and watch me breathe because I had double pneumonia. And she would watch me breathe to make sure I was still breathing. I was 29 or 30 years old. I lived with my parents until the day they died. Mom died July 23rd of 2002. Sorry, I was right. And Dad died May 15th of 2005. But I remember so many memories of how they inspire me. I remember Mom used to talk about how she was so exhausted that she just couldn't go on. Like if we were in the store or something, she would say, I need to go out if you're going to continue shopping, because even when I was sick, I wasn't as sick as I am now. And she used to tell me I'm so exhausted, and I would be like, I am so tired too. And I had no idea what the physical state of exhaustion meant until now. And you take things for granted, but the fact that she could keep going on and do things for me even when she was sick. Another thing that inspires me is when my dad was dying. Now, my dad used to always tell me, you don't have to have a job. Daddy will take care of you. Daddy will take care of you. And he meant it, But it kind of hurt me a little bit, as far as growing. Or should I say it crippled me a little. Not that he meant to do that, because he didn't. I'm just stating the facts. And I remember him sitting, he was sitting in his bed in the hospital, and I was sitting right beside him, and it was just him and I. And he told me, Elizabeth, I'm not coming home. And I said, how could you? You can't say that. You can't die too. Mom had just died 2 years before that. I said, you can't do that. He said, Elizabeth, whether you want it to be true or not, your daddy is not coming home. And I was bawling, crying so hard because I said, you can't do this to me. It's so unfair. How can you leave me? And then I realized something just clicked in my head. I said, I am such a horrible daughter. I cannot believe that I'm sitting here saying, you know, how could you do this to me? When you're the one dying, I should be consoling you. He said, this is what inspires me. He said, but I'm still the daddy. And I'll never forget that. Never. My parents were very, very big inspirations in my life on how I act. My friends that are giving and that have been wonderful to me inspire me. You know, I mean, there's so many things that inspire me. I love to see older couples holding hands, you know, that have been married for 60 years. Just still seeing the love in their eyes and him opening the car door for her. And that inspires me. That's something that makes me hope that maybe one day that I can have that too. Love is another story. But yes, that's what inspires me. I myself want to keep doing things that make me proud of me. And I mean, like, as far as I know financially, I can't help anyone. I can't even help myself. But I can be there for people. I can always, if any of my friends ever needed me right now, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever in my power I could do for them, I would. And things that have inspired me have made me who I am. And people that have inspired me. Because I always want to strive to be better. I want to strive to do better. I want to strive to feel better. And I think everybody should think about the things they take for granted. About wanting to be better. Wanting to never fight with somebody because you never know when they're going to be gone. Another thing that inspires me, which is something that I've done, and that was letting my parents go when it was their time. Letting a family member die with dignity. You know, I was holding both of my parents' hands when they died, and I would never, ever, ever want to be anywhere else, and no one can ever take that time away from me. It meant the world to me to be there, no matter how hard it was. So, people that let their parents die with dignity, or their family, you know, however, that inspires me. Because then I know it's a selfless act, you know. I wanted to be so selfish and say, even to this day, I want them back. I hate the fact that they're gone. I wish that I could just talk to them or hug them once. You know, once they're gone, they're gone. But I know I've probably gone over my time. So I love you all. Have a good day.